Hi, Celeste. How are you doing? Welcome to Sim. Hope you are doing great. So, I saw a video from Marjorie Taylor Greene where she said that this shutdown, that government shutdown, it's Republicans' fault. And you and I know that each time this woman comes out to probably blame Republicans. Maybe she's election is coming and she wants to be reelected again, right? And she is actually telling them to get it all together and be active again because they are hurting people, that they have everything like the White House, the Senate, and the rest of it, that they shut them is their fault. It's not the Democrats' fault. And she went also further to talk about Medicaid and all that. Why that she doesn't support Republican on what they are doing when it comes to Medicaid and the rest of it. She talked about Israel, she talked about APAC, a whole lot of it. In as much as I know Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is very correct, but I know how politics work and I know how they go against each other. Why? Because to be reelected is very, very important. Someone is saying that she is putting American first. If you know Marjorie Taylor Greene, you definitely know that she is not doing anything that will not benefit her. She is correct, but she is doing this because she wants to be reelected. This is just how I say it, but let me know what you think. Let's get into.
I see the shutdown completely different from maybe my party leadership. And I'm not putting the blame on the president. I'm actually putting the blame on the speaker and Leader Thune in the Senate. We control the House, we control the Senate, we have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown. I absolutely support the president. I campaigned for him for years. But I'm also an action person, and I want my party to solve problems.
And you say he's not getting good advice, though. You told Manu Raju. What specifically?
Well, I don't think it's good advice that a government shutdown is going to help Republicans in the midterms. I don't agree with that. I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms. I actually think that would be very bad for midterms.
Good morning, y'all. I had my cup of coffee already this morning. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, she agrees with the Democrats, y'all. And she blames the Republican for the shutdown. Y'all heard me. So all y'all Trump supporters who's saying it's the Democrat, hell, your own Republican, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is saying it's the Republicans' fault. You know what else that bitch done said, y'all? Let me tell you what she said. She said the health care is going to skyrocket. And the cost of living is still high. Now, all y'all Trump supporter, lying ass people, and y'all trying to say, oh no, the cost of living went down. No, it didn't. Your own party, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is saying it did not go down. She said even her electric bill went up $100 more. So where is the cost of living going down? Where? Your own party is saying cost of living did not go down. It went up. She's saying your health care is going to skyrocket. And y'all know why she's saying all this, don't y'all? Because it's affecting her and her family, her children. It's affecting her neighbors. Everybody's complaining to her. See, y'all lying ass Republicans. Y'all trying to act like, oh no, it went down. Trump is doing a good job. No, it didn't go down. Y'all lying and y'all embarrassed to admit it. Y'all embarrassed. So watch this clip where Marjorie Taylor speaks out.
I think that just not staying focused on America First policies is detrimental as well.
Yeah, and on that note, are you concerned about the cost of living?
Very.
That the President Trump said he would lower?
The inflation crushed people in the past 4.5 years, and the costs have not come down. I myself can tell you my apartment here in Washington, D.C., the electricity bill is $100 more than it was last year, because you can look at your own bill and look at cost. Prices have not come down. That is a reality. People's wages have not gone up. That's another reality. And so Americans are continuing to have a very difficult time getting by. And I'll go a step further. I'm a mom. And so when it comes to what is affecting my adult children's lives, who are 22, 26, and 28, I'm going to be 1,000% fighting for them over any politician and any party. And I can tell you right now, that generation, they are barely making it, and they're very hopeless for their future.
So you're a mom first, a politician second.
That's right.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, bleach blonde. Congresswoman, what's got into you? Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, my representative out of the great state of Georgia. Ain't nothing like a Georgia girl. Ain't nothing like a Georgia girl. MTG, I see you on there. You said this government shutdown is because of my party. The leadership, the Republican Party. We have the White House, the Senate, and the House. This shutdown is our fault. And she said we better get it together because our approval rating is already shot, but it's going to be even more shot if we don't get our stuff together. MTG has said APAC is doing the most and they should register as a foreign entity. She said, you know, her feelings on Israel have changed. And now she's saying this. I don't know what got into the Congresswoman, but hey, I'm kind of rocking with this campaign. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is putting the American people first. Now, look, I know this current moment doesn't knock away or tear apart everything she's done in the past. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, currently, Representative Greene, she sounded like she got some sense. Now, I don't know what motivated this. I don't know what got into her. But, hey, if she keeps this up, she might be.
Nah, it's still Marjorie Taylor Greene can go fuck herself over here. She can go fuck herself today, tomorrow, and until further notice. It's wild to me to see many of these mainstream media platforms try to launder her reputation in the midst of this government shutdown. Like all of a sudden she's come to her senses. Slate put out an article that said, Marjorie Taylor Greene, welcome to the Renaissance. That woman ain't got, she's not in no Renaissance period. She just understands that this thing doesn't test well, right? The Republicans have the House. They have the Senate. They have the presidency. This government shutdown is 100% their fault. And normally she would have no issue seeing Americans be harmed. She doesn't mind that. She watches it every day. But the difference is now with this government shutdown, those premiums going up for Americans as it relates to their healthcare is a very, very real reality. And she understands that does not test well. So she needs to do what she's been doing since she got to Washington, and that's being a fake fucking populist. Fake populist nonsense, much like Donald Trump. Meanwhile, all she's done in Congress is spread lies, spread misinformation, be an active TERF, be anti-LGBTQIA, be literally against the body autonomy of women and attacking their reproductive rights at every single turn. And also being such a gun nut that while children lose their lives in schools to psychos with the blammo, she thoughts and prays you to death. And now she understands that she is a person who has been yelling for a long time to release those Epstein files. But she knows that they can't be released because her president was a little freakazoid with Jeffrey Epstein. So she's got to sit there and try to pivot away slightly and be like, no, we can't do this to Americans and they're losing everything and we have to take. She doesn't give a fuck and a goddamn about that. If and when this situation gets resolved, she will go back to her normal grift, not passing a single bill in Congress that can help the lives of her constituents while wasting everyone's time in those congressional meetings that don't mean shit while getting dunked on by Jasmine.
Friend, pick up the phone. The bad body built, bleached blonde, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. She is detaching herself from Mike Johnson and the Republican Party. Because now, remember she said, now she understands only simply because she has a son And her children's health insurance is going to increase, and she ain't going to pay it. She's like, I can't afford to pay their insurance. Something's got to shake. Not forget everyone else that was struggling because of what we did. Now, so now she doesn't want to be affiliated with the Republican Party. But no. See, those people over there in Georgia, they said, oh, say less. She's like, oh, shit, I'm up for re-election. I got to do something because they don't like me. What do I do to get them to like me? Because the times are changing and we will have it. Y'all don't fall for her bullshit. Do not fall for her bullshit.
I hate when I have to agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Actually, she's agreeing with me and the Democrats. There are 3 Democratic points that Marjorie Taylor Greene is agreeing with the Democrats, and she is pushing back on Republicans. And I love this for them. Now, if we could get other Republicans to fall in line and do the same, that would be awesome. So the first point of contention is the Affordable Health Care Act subsidies, okay, called Obamacare. Now, Florida is number 1 in enrollees in the Obamacare. I know my MAGA folks hate hearing that, but it's the truth, and you guys benefit from the subsidies. You guys are going to get letters, if you haven't got them already, showing you how much you're going to pay next year, and it has more than doubled. And this is why the Democrats are holding the line. They want to make sure the subsidies are included in that bill, in that budget. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying the same thing. She knows that her kids' insurance bill is going to double, as well as other constituents in her area. So she's pushing back on the Republicans on that. The second one is the tariffs. She believes the tariffs is driving up the cost of manufacturing. And it is. Many small businesses are not able to survive with these tariff increases. Guys, Trump just did it, and there's no foresight of the consequences of his action. He didn't put a plan in place. He just did it and said, fuck it to everybody. Marjorie Taylor Greene is speaking with these major corporations who says that they have a problem with these tariffs. She said it should not be helping your crypto donors. And she further stated that the focus should be on the people that showed up to your MAGA rallies, and she don't believe that those people are being served. Let's not even talk about how many farmers lost their farms because of these tariff wars. And then she has a problem with the deportation policies. Not Marjorie Taylor Greene, not Mrs. White Supremacy, but she believes getting rid of these immigrants is going to hurt American labor. Duh. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know this. Where are these white Americans applying for these jobs at the farms or construction? They thought the Puerto Rican and the black people were going to do it, huh? Her words exactly is that we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them. So now, do we all agree that we agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on these points? I don't care that she's trying to become a senator, but if her freaking Pe0ple attitude can get the Republicans to actually start focusing on the real issues here that plague the U.S., then that will be a good thing. I really hope that this is an epiphany for her and she does a deeper dive to everything else. But yeah, wow. Let me know your thoughts.
Actually putting the blame on the speaker and Leader Thune and the Senate. This should not be happening. And I don't think, look, as a member of Congress, we already have a low enough job approval rating. This shutdown is just going to drive everybody's approval rating that much lower.
But so you're putting the blame on the leadership of your party.
Absolutely. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House.
Oh, Marjorie, how I've missed you. It's been a minute since I've talked about good old MTG. And maybe that reason is because, I don't know, this administration has been such a shit show that I had to put that dingbat on the back burner. Or because in recent months, Marjorie has been making some sense. And I'm not the only one. I've seen the comment sections on videos of her speaking. People being like, I can't believe I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene, or I'm not agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's agreeing with me, or even a broken clock is right twice a day. Now, if you've been with me for a long time, you would know that I have never had a kind word to say about that woman, and I'm not going to start today either. I can only think up of one or two reasons as to why Marjorie Taylor Greene has had a sudden change of heart. It could be that she's up for re-election and she's campaigning as we speak, that her constituents in rural Georgia are suffering under this administration. I wouldn't get too excited about her blaming Mike Johnson. This is not her going against Republicans. She does not like Mike Johnson. I'm going to take you guys a little back. Do you remember Kevin McCarthy? He was kicked out as Speaker of the House and replaced with Mike Johnson, and Marjorie did not like that. She spent a really long time kissing Kevin McCarthy's ass and forming a coalition with him. She even fought with her boo, Matt Gaetz, over it, because he's the one that led the charge. I did say there were two possibilities, though. And the only second one I can come up with is that there was some kind of Freaky Friday situation at the Capitol where Marjorie Taylor Greene and John Fetterman collided, and they just switched places. Crazier things have happened. But before any of you hop on the Marjorie Taylor Greene Express, choo-choo, I need you to remember this woman's entire career and the things that she has done and the disgusting things that have come out of her mouth. She is not having some kind of come to Jesus moment. And I also need you to remember that she was once a part of the alphabet people. You know, the ones brought to you by the letter Q. She's not all there, okay? Consider this a public service announcement. Anyways, bye.
AOC just came out and said that Republicans, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, aren't upset because Bad Bunny speaks Spanish. They're upset because they can barely speak English. They're illiterate, and now you're adding another thing that they have to learn.
The whole Bad Bunny situation, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like super upset because he said, you know, y'all have 4 months to learn Spanish. And I want to let you know, I've worked on a committee with this woman. I've seen her try to read. They're not mad because he's speaking Spanish. They're mad, and she's mad because she can barely speak English. And the idea of introducing any more words is too much to bear. She may have just learned acetaminophen this week. It's too, they fry.
I've been saying for a while, we're in a severe literacy crisis. Only 56% of American adults read at a 6th grade or lower reading level. And now we have a woman of Congress confirming that another woman of Congress is illiterate and that most of them probably can't read the way we need them to read or lack critical thinking and comprehension, which is why things like MAGA exist. America.
I see the shutdown completely different from maybe my party leadership. We control the House, we control the Senate, we have the White House.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is not changing her mind or becoming a different person. She is still an anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist grifter. She's just reading the room correctly. She understands how wildly unpopular the Republican Party's position is right now on the shutdown, on the fight around healthcare, and is shifting appropriately. That is why she feels comfortable going against her party in this moment. And that should actually be a warning sign for Democrats that the calculation they're making that this fight, any messaging victories they might have around this shutdown fight in healthcare, carrying over to next year's midterms doesn't carry as much water as they think it does. And even though I would argue that she's actually communicating and messaging on this a little bit better than some of the Democrats in the party are, she is not currently outflanking the Democrats. But that could easily change because there are plenty of examples showing how Republicans have no problem making a complete 180 on an issue, dropping all previous talking points and messaging on it to adopt the new position, no matter how contradictory the new position is to the old one, right? Because they have such a strong media ecosystem and a robust propaganda machine. And that is why I'm it would be very easy for Republicans to notice how much traction Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting, how unpopular their current position that the rest of the Republican Party has, how unpopular that is, and make the shift to where Marjorie Taylor Greene is currently at. Because while Democrats might be able to argue right now that Marjorie Taylor Greene has moved to where they are, right, she's siding with Democrats, when it comes to next year's midterms, you in a way have like watered down your own messaging and position on healthcare. Because if this is something where Republicans do make the shift, do you see what I mean? Like this, it starts to become a problem. I made a video before the government shutdown saying why I didn't think healthcare should be the fight, the way that they framed the fight around the government shutdown. And this is part of why. Because Democrats are fighting from a position behind where most Americans are at, right? There was a YouGov poll that showed 6 in 10 Americans support Medicare for all, and a Gallup survey that said, I think it was like 2 in 3 Americans think that it is the government's responsibility to provide health care for all Americans. You're running behind where most Americans are at, like where the majority of Americans are already headed. And while I would like to say that I hope this is the Democrats' way of laying the groundwork for adopting like universal health care as a platform, a policy position for next year's midterms, that means I would have to ignore everything I've seen from Democrats over the last 9 months. Like, God forbid, Democrats be at the forefront of radical change in this country. Healthcare, housing, childcare, education, like so many different things. God forbid that be the case. And look, for anybody who's about to say there's no way Republicans would shift on that, you could be right. And I could make the argument for that as well. But this is not, it's not the only issue Marjorie Taylor Greene has currently shifted on.
Never thought I'd say this, but here's Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene making a lot of sense on a podcast over the weekend.
We have a labor force in America across many industries that has been built on illegal labor. That's a fact. That also cannot be ignored. And as a conservative and as a business owner in the construction industry and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that.
Right.
So, and I'm going to get pushed back on that, but it's, yeah. I'm just living in reality from here on out.
Do you see what I mean? So now she's moderating on immigration? This is why Democrats should never have moved to the right on immigration. This is why they should not have ceded the ground to Republicans over the last 10 years on immigration. This is why it is not a radical position for Democrats to adopt the policy or the position of abolishing ICE. Do you so for next year's midterms, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to run against a Democrat who has the same position on immigration and healthcare? So why would they vote for the Democrat, not the Republican? Right? Like, this is why Democrats thinking like, oh, we need to moderate on some of these issues or move to the center or like any of that centrist moderate bullshit is ridiculous. Like, I feel like I'm going to rip my hair out. And I understand that there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in the scenario that I just laid out. But do you see why, like, I'm concerned that in a year from now, as these things continue to be even more unpopular, rising costs of healthcare, inflation continuing to go up, the ICE raids and deportations, right? Like, that if Republicans, if you extrapolate out Marjorie Taylor Greene to other Republicans, they start to shift on that as well, that, like, come next year's midterms, you have some of these Republicans now at the policy positions, the places that Democrats are currently at. Like, these radical positions of abolishing ICE or universal health care or so many other issues, they're not radical positions. Not only where we should be at morally, but, like, we're not going to be appealing to these fucking yahoos, nor should we want to be. The idea that Democrats in any way should moderate or move to the center is fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely laughable. Like, I say all this to remind y'all, don't be afraid to heavily push Democratic lawmakers, Democratic candidates to the left to a more progressive position, because not only is it like a moral imperative, but that's where they need to be in order to win. Like, this is, what are we?
Pissing me off because I'm seeing a lot of y'all on my timeline talk about why is Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of eating right now? Why is she like making some valid points? Like, she's changing. She's had a change of heart. No, the fuck she did not. That snapping turtle did not have a change of heart. That snapping turtle's job is on the line and she don't want to go to the unemployment office, all right? With the rest of you. That's what that snapping turtle got on the internet and said that Sandy Hook was an orchestrated event by the left, right? To create gun control. That the left orchestrated children being murdered. right? So we could get gun control. And y'all just gonna let that slide? Y'all just gonna be like, okay, cool, just because she's saying that like Americans can't afford groceries because she can see? Because she can use her eyes? That she voted for, mind you. She voted for the reason why y'all can't afford no goddamn groceries. She voted for that big, beautiful bill, which is the reason why your health insurance premiums about to skyrocket, right? You think because she's siding with releasing the Epstein files, that means she's seen the error of her ways. No. She's seen the polling numbers of her potential midterm run. And they're not looking good. They're looking like you're not going to be in that seat next year. So the reason why she's going on this curated press tour and answering these questions and make it seem like she's woke is so you guys will forget all the fuck shit she said and done and co-signed. So you will vote her back into office so then she can go right back to being the crazy conspiracy, racist, misinformation wielding lady that she's always been. It's y'all's willingness and eagerness to accept that she's changed. Because it reminds me of that movie, the Lego movie, the second one with Tiffany Haddish as the villain, because I remember that irritating ass voice anyway, right? So it was in that movie and it was clear as fuck that she was the villain, right? Clear as fuck. Obviously not to kids, but to adults. And maybe some kids too, whatever, right? That she was the fucking villain, because she would say some shit and then she'd be like, I'm not the villain. I am not the villain. Me, the villain. And then when she was the villain, everyone was like, oh my God, she's the villain. And there was someone in the movie, I think, that was saying, guys, I think she's the villain. And everyone was like, no, she's not. That's what's happening with that snapper turtle right now. Y'all are seeing her little interviews and you're like, she's not evil anymore. I still see the horns, bitch. I see the horns.
This is all I got from this video, and I am going to tell you something before I continue. As much as Marjorie Taylor Greene is correct, but I still will never align with her. Marjorie Taylor Greene will never, ever do something against a Republican if she is not doing it for gain. She made so much valid point, which you and I could actually hear, which I understand where she's coming from. She made a valid point. What she said is true. Medicaid and the rest of it, you and I know how bad it is. Like everything going on right now. She is calling everything all out. But is this really the Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know? The truth is that this woman is also coming out for re-election. And she wants to use you and I for re-election. This is more like a strategy. So I do not ever, ever, ever believe whatever she's saying. She said the right thing, no lies, no doubt. But if you know Marjorie Taylor Greene, you definitely will know she's a green snake under green grass. This is just what I have to say, and I said what I said. Because this is who she has always been. You know, she is now praising Democrats, right? The truth is that I don't know how these people voted for this administration, saying fully well that this administration is very harmful to anybody. I don't care who you are, whether white, black, other people of color. This administration is very deadly to people, right? Just imagine having medical, you know, how do you probably fall ill and spend the rest of your life paying medical bills? Some of the bills that you will end up paying are something that you will never ever stop paying for life. So what is now why would a reasonable person, a human being, cut all those Medicaid? And you and I know that I don't want to say in United States, but you and I also know that in United States there are so many kinds of health problems. Yes. Even the one you've never heard before, you will hear it there. Even the one you never know existed, you will hear it there. You know? And people are suffering from it. Some of their medications are so expensive. Some of them people cannot even afford them. Like, you know, people that work cannot afford them. There is one of our good sisters, Sister Goddess Mia, right? I remember her coming out to cry out that her medication used to be $40. From 20, they moved to 40. She was like, oh, okay, still something she could do. And before they could say, Jack, 400. What? A whole $400. Right? For that is absurd. That is crazy, really. So, excuse me. I say the way she's trying to make her point, but I have never seen her say something reasonable, or she's not changing her mind or saying something different because she's saying it for you to benefit. She's saying it because she knows there might not be any change, right? And also she wants to be re-elected. The way she's shifting, right? And also, yes, she's going against her politics, right? That first woman said it very right. She's going against her policy because she wants re-election. You know, they are just going to use you to get re-elected and then go back, deflate again to their normal mental health problem. That's why I keep telling people, watch what they say and what they do when it's before their re-election, because they are always she will grift back to where Marjorie Taylor Greene has caused so many so many problems. Now she's looking for a way to fix it. Just, straight up. Do not blame me or do not say, why are you like this? I am saying this because I understand how politicians work, how politics work, right? And I am not going to deny that she said the fact, but she's saying the truth because she wants something. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene will never, ever stand against MAGA if it's not going to be beneficial to her. So at this point, it's going to be beneficial if she stands against them. Then get back into the office and go back to who she used to be. So please, everyone should really be very careful. I am not ever going to tell you that she is. Please do not vote for her if she's do not re-elect her. I know she might end up still winning. And then she and Lauren Loomer will continue their. Bye for now.